The voiceover for this video was recorded with the MSI DS502 gaming headset, a great sounding USB headset with a near studio quality mic for under $60 US. Click the link in the description to find out more.
Skip it up and that up.
This is a video that I've wanted to make for years. And the reason I've held back is because, to be honest with you, these are the kind of videos when I lose my mind and I call people out that create my enemies, because I don't hold back. And if you have a differing opinion on me when it comes to issues like this, and you're very, very, very sensitive with your opinions to the fact that if someone doesn't agree with you, you dislike them, it's these kind of videos that make you hate me. But I don't care, because I'm tired of holding my tongue, and this needs to be discussed because I'm so tired of people getting on their soapboxes, and I'm so sick of the hypocrisy that I'm seeing all over YouTube and all over social media. So the topic I'm going to discuss in this video is Patreon and Kickstarters and crowdfunding in general, and how people, for some reason, when other people with their own money choose to support a Patreon or choose to support a Kickstarter, whatever the case may be, they lose their minds and they write Bibles on Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media platform you're on, sitting there lecturing people about how horrible they are that they're supporting a Patreon while there's children starving around the world. But anyway, these are like the 4 or 5 typical talking points that I hear when people go anti-Patreon, and these are the things that they bring up, and they all get on my nerves. So let's begin. And the first one I hear is that supporting someone on Patreon, or someone opening up a Patreon, I should say, is them panhandling. And when you support someone on Patreon, you're basically supporting them panhandling, which is 100% wrong. Okay? When someone opens up a Patreon, they're offering a product or service. You may like their content. Oh, there's even Patreons open for emulators. The Wii U emulator has a Patreon. It has over $30,000 on it. Someone is offering you a good service, whether it be videos, whether it be an emulator, a piece of software, whatever the case may be, and you're willing to support it. But the thing that I hear all the time is that if you support someone on Patreon, you're supporting someone panhandling. You're supporting them e-begging, which again, people think about Patreon this way because it's a new way to support people that create content for you, and therefore they have to shoot it down. But let me compare Patreon to something else that most of these people are too simple to think about this way. Okay, Howard Stern is worth over $500 million. He's worth about $600 million, probably more by now. And he has a salary every year of $90 million. He is on SiriusXM. People pay monthly, maybe not just for him, but for, the service as a whole, to listen to Howard Stern and other shows on there. Are the people on SiriusXM that have talk shows, are they panhandlers? It's the people who are paying that monthly fee that are supporting them. It's the same thing, but you're too dumb to think it's the same thing because, it's going through a corporation and I've been conditioned all these years to think that's different. It's not different. It's not different, you simple, dumb morons. People are paying money to SiriusXM, okay, and that money gets funneled to the different people who have talk shows or radio shows on SiriusXM, and that's how they're getting paid, and that's how Howard Stern's getting paid $90 million a year. What's the difference? There is no difference. You're just dumb, and we're conditioned to think there is a difference. But Rich, it's Howard Stern. What's the difference with what Howard Stern's doing? Why? Because he's super mega famous? He's doing the same thing my fat ass is doing right now. He's sitting in front of a microphone talking. He's not doing anything different. You're just conditioned to think that way because he's on a conventional format, and that's why you think the way he gets paid is different than the way someone on Patreon gets paid, and that's why you consider someone on Patreon a panhandler, and it's okay for Howard Stern to do it. Is he giving his $90 million, all of his $90 million? He has $600 million in the bank and getting paid $90 million. Should he stop making money? Should he give all his money to starving children? Will you tell him that? Will you write a 30-page thing on Facebook about that? No, you won't. No, you won't, because there's different standards, because you're all hypocrites. Now, the second talking point I have is a doozy, because the hypocrisy with this one is incredible. Okay? First off, I will say this before I begin. If you live stream and you receive donations, I have no issue with it. I have zero issue with it. I live stream, I receive donations. So that's not the point of what I'm about to say. But a said person who does live stream, who I know gets sometimes hundreds or thousands of dollars each time they live stream, was calling out a YouTuber who just recently opened a Patreon, saying that they are already a millionaire. Why do they need a Patreon? They're taking advantage of their viewers, so on and so forth. And I'm thinking to myself, this same person, okay, while they live stream, receives thousands of dollars while they live stream. And this person also is a confirmed millionaire. But their excuse is, oh, when you live stream, getting donations is part of the culture. So you just take donations and you don't have to be held accountable for the donations, which again, I don't have an issue with. But if someone donates to a Patreon that's actually for a cause like Phil DeFranco's new news network, that's bad because it's not part of the same culture. You're both millionaires. Why is it not okay for Phil DeFranco to get money from a Patreon, but it's okay for you to get donations while you live stream? Again, what's the difference? It's because you're too simple to realize that there is no difference. Now, the third anti-Patreon excuse that I hear is that these content creators, they're taking advantage of the children. These young little children are giving their money to these content creators and taking advantage of them. So let's see, can you be a young child and actually open up a PayPal account so you could be taken advantage of by these evil Patreon content creators? The answer is hell no. When you open a PayPal account, you are agreeing to a binding legal contract. Before an individual can enter into a binding legal agreement known as a contract, he or she must meet the legal contract age. The legal contract age is also referred to as the age of majority, which is 18 years old in most jurisdictions. That's coming right from PayPal. So you need to be a legal adult to open up a PayPal account. But Rich, who cares about PayPal? They can open up credit cards and those poor and impressionable children can use those credit cards and rack them up to support these evil content creators on Patreon who are taking advantage of them. Wrong again, Bob. You can get a credit card under the age of 18 if an adult adds you as an authorized user to their credit card. So again, if a kid has access to his or her parents' credit card, it is because the parents are giving them permission and added them to the account to have access to the credit card. So if they do use it to help out these evil Patreon creators, it is because the parents gave them access to the credit card and allowed them to. So once again, an adult allowed them to make that choice. So you can't just be an impressionable young child and get access to a PayPal account or credit card. Do you get it now? Is it sinking into your thick skulls? And the best is, this is one I just thought of now. These same morons who go on Facebook and Twitter and call out anybody who uses a Patreon account. Oh, they could be spending the money on much more productive things, not on these dumb, frivolous things. These are the same fools that I see showing off their new phones, their new watches, their new cars. That's frivolous too. You could have used the money you spent on that crap that you don't need to help starving kids around the world. So by you calling out people who choose to support people on Patreon because they like their content and they enjoy it, makes you the biggest goddamn hypocrites on the planet. I am so tired of all these people who stand on soapboxes trying to make other people feel terrible. Until what other people spend their money on affects your wallet, you need to sit down and shut up and stop worrying about what other people are doing with their lives. This is Richard Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.